Hello everyone, this is Darcinova here. This is my review on The Approaching Storm, which is the last of Alan Dean Foster's contributions to the Star Wars expanded universe. I know he's wrote for other stuff like Star Trek, Transformers, and some of his original work, but honestly, after reading at least this much I've read from him, the Force Awakens novelization, Splinter of Mind's Eye, and The Approaching Storm, I'm not a fan of his. And I never really liked anything he's written. And I don't think this changes my mind. This is probably the best of his work that I've read in Star Wars, but I'm not interested in seeking out his own original work because I'm not a fan of him. I don't like his Star Wars novels. I don't hate his writing style. And I don't think I'm gonna write, like anything else he's written. So don't expect me to talk about Alan Dean Foster after this. I might review the novelization of A New Hope. I haven't decided that yet, but I'm going to begin on with the story. The story takes place about a week or two before the events of Attack of the Clones. Before I talk about the negatives, I want to talk about the positives of this book. I like the fact that this book actually focuses on characters that aren't normally, written about very much in the expanded universe. I believe this may have been their first appearance prior to them appearing in Episode 2, Barriss Offee and her master, Luminara. I hope I'm pronouncing that right and not butchering it. And I do enjoy those characters' scenes together because, it's refreshing to see some other characters, but Anakin and Obi-Wan weren't really featured as much as I would have liked, considering that at this point where this book came out, there wasn't barely any stories featuring Anakin and Obi-Wan. The cover of this book is kind of deceiving. You would think that this is mainly an Anakin and Obi-Wan story. It's not. It focuses mostly on Barriss Offee, pretty much, and her master, which I have no problem with that. I mean, I have no problem with the Star Wars universe, expanding and utilizes other characters. It must be George Lucas. He probably didn't want too much of Anakin Skywalker's, character prior to Episode 2 being known because he wanted to be the one that tells that story. So this was released before the Episode 2 came out, and not much was known about who Anakin was. And this was like, I wonder what kind of process Alan Dean Foster had to go through. The thing is, I like the concept of the story. The concept of the story is Anakin, Obi-Wan, Luminara, and Barriss Offee, trying to prevent, a republic world from seceding. Because at this point, there's a separatist movement going on. They haven't gone public yet at this point. And if you've been watching my Jedi Apprentice reviews, it's mentioned in great, this is mentioned in detail. The reason why I think I would prefer another author writing this, because there are times in this book I have no idea who the fuck is talking or whose perspective the story is. I'm reading it from, because I was reading almost half a chapter and I didn't even know it was Barriss Offee's portion until later in the chapter. It's like, what the fuck am I reading? There's a good amount of times in this book where a character's perspective changes randomly, and I can't tell who's talking or whose perspective it's written about, and it fucking irritates the fucking shit out of me. I don't understand, to me, I just didn't enjoy this book as much as I would have wanted to. I think if another author, I wish James Luceno would have wrote this. If I'm biased. I love James Luceno. It's just, this could have been what Cloak of Deception was for an Episode 1 prequel. This could have been that. I just think that the biggest weakness of this book is not the story, it's the writer. I wish someone else other than Alan Dean Foster had written this story. I think it could have been much better. I don't think it's terrible, but I don't think it's good either. It's completely forgettable, honestly, just like everything else that he's written. Honestly, I don't feel like this story is really necessary. It feels like a story you can easily skip it if you wish. If you want to skip straight to episode 2, go ahead, because I don't think anything of significance is really lost unless you're a fan of Barriss Offee and her and Luminera, and you want to read more stories featuring them. Be my guest, because their scenes were the best part of this book. This book was 300 something pages too long. I'm so glad I never have to talk about this author again after my next review of the New Hope and novelization, whatever the hell I do it. After I touch that review, when I do it, I'm so glad I'll never have to talk about him again, because I can't stand him as a writer, and I'm just gonna put this on my bookshelf and have it. It's probably gonna rot for 10 years, and before I ever pick it up again. This is Darcenovia, and I give this a okay rating. It's neither good and it's neither bad. You can skip it. It's completely forgettable. May the Force be with you, people. Next time I talk about Star Wars and the novels, I will review Attack of the Clones novelization. That's right. We're going to go to the Clone Wars era. Hopefully it doesn't kill me like it nearly killed Matt Wilkins. Later, guys.